done a lot of thinking about us.
I'm about to show you the last few seconds of Jay and Mark Duplass' 2005 feature film debut, The Puffy Chair. The film was screened at Sundance, won the Audience Award at South by Southwest, and kickstarted Jay and Mark Duplass' filmmaking careers, both of which are still active today. Some in-film context. This moment marks the end of our two main characters' relationship, and finally answers the will they won't they question that drives the entire story. Basically, it's the most important scene in the film.
I think that we should break up.
Really?
No swelling score, no beautiful set, lit naturally and shot handheld on a camcorder from 2002. Nonetheless, this moment, along with the rest of the film, works for some reason. So I'm asking the question that I always do. Why? Why does this film work when it's devoid of so many of the elements that audiences have come to expect when they sit down to watch a movie? Most importantly, what lessons can we extract from The Puffy Chair?
Bone?
Bone!
Bone.
When a film is made, the what usually precedes the how. An idea is presented, and then a team tackles the logistics of its execution. The Duplass brothers, however, were working with a $15,000 budget, which meant they needed to approach the ideation process from a different place.
And so we set out to write The Puffy Chair, which was a movie that we kind of reverse engineered, I guess, to be something that we could afford to make. You know, we wrote for what we call the available material school of filmmaking. I was a musician and I had a van. I lived in an apartment.
The Duplass brothers aren't the only filmmakers to ever do this.
Shadowing, following. I started to follow people.
Christopher Nolan's first film, Following, centers on a man who follows people through the streets of London and steals from their homes. Why? Because he had access to the streets of London and his friends' houses.
What is this, a pull?
How long you been a smoker?
I don't know, since I was about 13.
Kevin Smith's Clerks centers on a group of friends who work at a convenience store. Why? Because he had access to a convenience store.
That's your lung.
Amidst the documentary-style cinematography and improvised dialogue, it becomes easy to overlook what may be the Puffy Chair's most crucial element: its precisely constructed story. The film is beautifully paced and fits perfectly into most three-act structure models. When raving about the Puffy Chair, most people cite great scenes or lines of dialogue. But none of those things can exist if they don't rest upon a stable structure. A climax, a low point, a resolution will not be resonant if they fall at the wrong time or in the wrong order. An audience may not be able to articulate it in screenwriting jargon, but they will pick up on the symptoms of a poorly structured film. It felt slow. The ending was too abrupt. Good structure is invisible to the audience. It's a thankless task, extremely time-consuming, and incredibly hard to do well. But it's also free. All you need is a paper and a pen. So tip number 2, in the face of such a small budget, turn to what you can control. Budget limitations are going to impact your cinematography, set design, lighting, and so on, but it shouldn't affect your story. And at the end of the day, story matters more than all of those things put together. Besides story, there's really only one other element that can make or break your film. It's performances. The Duplass brothers didn't have the money for any big-name actors, so when it came to casting, they turned to the cheapest possible alternative: themselves. Mark Duplass plays Josh, and he brings a hilarious, emotional, and lived-in performance. The two other leads, played by Katie Aselton and Rhett Wilkins, were relatively inexperienced actors as well, but brought their respective characters to life on a budget of $250 a day. The Duplass brothers did get very lucky with their cast, but the actor's talent is only half the battle. A final performance is dictated in large part by the director. Poor direction has brought forth horrible performances from Oscar-winning actors, and great direction has gotten Oscar-winning performances out of complete amateurs. One mustn't discount Jay Duplass's contributions as a skilled director to the final performance of all three leads. That all sounds great, but what's the tip? What exactly is there to learn here? Be extremely talented? Well, here's where I introduce something of a rebuttal. Basically every point I've brought forth so far about how to get your micro-budget film to succeed can be countered with the same argument. The Duplass brothers are talented. They didn't succeed because they followed a set of rules. They succeeded because they are extremely talented filmmakers. And it's a good point. When I originally set out to write this video, my working thesis was, money is not the thing preventing someone from making a great film, because all of a film's crucial elements are inexpensive. At the end of the day, all The Puffy Chair is a quality script, good acting and directing, effective cinematography, and clean editing. It can be done for cheap. However, in my pursuit to prove that point, I completely missed the true X factor. All of the elements that make the Puffy Chair good require talent to replicate. Talent, or money to buy the talent. So, what if you don't have either? Well, listen to this clip.
But to be clear, this movie, The Puffy Chair, that I've heard textbooks tout as a game changer, was literally approached as, oh, please, God, let us make a movie that doesn't suck.
Yeah.
Let's stack all the cards in our favor so that we can do something that doesn't suck.
The truth is, talent is post hoc. Talent is the word given to people who have succeeded. Jay and Mark Duplass were not considered talented when they made The Puffy Chair. They earned that badge after, when their movie got into Sundance, won the South by Southwest Audience Award, and got picked up by Netflix and roadside attractions. Talent can be kind of a dirty word. A plethora of other elements go into a film's commercial success, a huge one being luck. Many great films go unnoticed every year, and the artists behind them never receive their flowers, their badge that says, you are talented. It's a terrifying thing. That fear may be why you're watching this video right now, in the hope that I've uncovered some secret sauce. But I haven't. The only certainty lies in stagnation. If you don't make anything, if you don't even try, you don't stand a chance. So scratch all that other stuff I just said. Tip number 1 on how to get your micro-budget film to succeed: make a micro-budget film. Make a film.